That man shout back, "What the F asterisk 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 K are you saying? Did you lose your mind YN?" Listening to that person's voice, YN lift her head scarredly and open her tearly eyes slowly to see him, and she finds that he is Taehyung. Taehyung seen YN in this condition in a towel and, Taehyung says, "Why are you roaming around the house wearing a towel like this?" He almost scold her, but instead saying anything thing YN hug him tightly and start crying. Seeing her crying like this, he also shocked and worried. He caresses In's back so that she stops crying and calms down. He break her tight huge and cup her face and whip her continuously flowing tears in. Taehyung asks softly, "What happened YN, why are you crying?" YN says in sobs, "There is a thief in our room, please call the police, quickly, to catch him." Taehyung shocked after listening YN words and Taehyung says, What are you saying? YN reply with wombling voice, "Thief. Thief, there is a thief in our room." Taehyung worriedly looked at YN from head to toe and said, "Are you okay? Did he hurt you?" Then suddenly Taehyung's eyes go to In's neck where there was blood on it. Taehyung licked blood from her neck and says with rage, "Did he hurt you YN?" YN reply, "It's not my blood, he tried to hurt me but I bit his hand and fight with him and run." Listening YN words, Taehyung full of rage and says, "How did he even dare to touch you? He must have a death wish, I will kill him with my own hands, I will beat him. So much that he willn't be able to see tomorrow morning." He says and his hand's vein was popping out by his full of rage, anger and about to go towards their room, but YN hold his veiny arm and YN says, No, please don't go there. What if he will hurt you? Who knows, he may have some tool to attack you. No, you are not going, please call the police. He wanted to go to the room and beat that bastard until he pass out, but seeing YN crying, shivering like this, he stop and remove his coat from his shoulder and puts on YN's shoulder. For cover her half n at greater than K euro dB increment die and call the cops. After 15 minutes bunch of cops came and start finding the thief even after an hour of police searching. The thief is not found. The policeman says, "Mr. Kim, we think that thief has run away before our arrival. You file a complaint, and check all the things in your house once to see if anything is missing. If it is missing, then get a report written about it. We will try our best to catch that thief as soon as possible." The police said to Taehyung, "Did you see the thief? If you tell us something about the thief, it will be easier for us to find him." Taehyung reply, "Actually I was not at home, my wife was only at home, my wife told me that the thief also tried to hurt her and tried to attack her." Polish man says, "Can I interrogate your wife about the thief?" Taehyung reply, "No, you cannot talk to my wife right now, she is very scared right now, she will not be able to answer your questions right now." After some time, the police complete their investigation and leave the mansion. Taehyung takes YN to their room and sees that tears were flowing continuously from In's eyes. Taehyung touch her chick and says, "The thief has run away from here, now he will not come back here again. If he comes, it will be his last day. Please don't cry like this." YN nodded her head and says, "I want to bath." Taehyung look at her face confusedly. Looking at YN, it was clear that she had already taken bath. And her hair was also wet. Then why she wants bath again, but he doesn't stop her and let her go for bath. After half hour YN came out the bathroom while wrapping a towel around her chest, and go towards her wardrobe and take out a frock and again going back to bathroom for wear. But before she entered bathroom, Taehyung stop her and Taehyung says, "YN come here." YN run towards him and saw Taehyung sitting on bed and she quietly go towards him and stand in front of him. Taehyung sees her eyes getting red by her crying but her tears still flowing from her eyes. Taehyung hold her hand and make her sit on his lap gently and whip her tears in. Taehyung says, "What happened YN, is anything else you wanna tell me? Stop crying, or you will get sick, then who will take care of me?" Sudden Taehyung eyes go to YN red neck like she rubbed her neck harshly. Taehyung move YN wet hair to another side for clearly looking at her red neck. Taehyung touched there gently with his thumb and says, "What happened there? Why you rubbed your neck harshly like that?" YN remained silent as her head down. Taehyung lifted her head softly to look at her. Tearly eyes, and he understands she wants to tell something, but she is hiding it. Taehyung asked again with dominantly tone, "YN, I am asking you something." As a heavy drop of tears fell down from YN eyes by his dominance tone. YN says, "I want to be Euro due to disgust," she says while sobbing and losing her consciousness. Taehyung says while hugging her into his chest, "No, baby, don't say like that, I will punish that. Be it greater than $2 rode by my own hand." YN chatting the words of D. Euro while losing her consciousness. "I wanna be." Fist clenched and says, "I want to bury down the thief alive for make my wife cry." And she says the words of D. Euro just because of that be it $2 road thief action. I won't leave him alive to do this to you. Due to YN becoming unconscious, her entire body weight falls on Taehyung's chest due to which Taehyung realizes that YN has fainted while crying in his arms, as Taehyung holds her fainted body protectively into his arm, not to let her fell down on floor and slowly make her sleep on bed. And cover her body with duvet. Taehyung was feeling very bad seeing YN in such a bad condition because he knew that all this had happened to YN because of his not paying attention to her. YN should not have been left alone in that house without any security. Before marriage, I used to live alone. I did not have any worries or concerns about anyone at home. Because I used to live alone. Now I live with YN, she is my wife. How can I forget this? How could I forget about her safety? How could I leave her alone at home without any security? If something had happened to YN today, I would have never been able to. "Sir, there is an important meeting after 3 days. You will have to come to the meeting, investors from all the boards will come there. It is necessary for you to be there." Taehyung stops for a while and thinks and says, because Taehyung also knew how important that meeting was for his business. Then he looked at YN with worried and says in call, I will inform you about that later. He says and cut the call and lay down next to YN sleeping figure. Taehyung says in low soft voice to YN ear. Taehyung, I am sorry love you suffer because of my stupidity and carelessness. He says and sleep with her cuddling. Time skip in night, YN wake up by sleep and sees Taehyung sleeping with her cuddling. Taehyung also wake up by YN body movements. Taehyung asks her softly while touching her chick, are you feeling okay now? YN nodded her head because she doesn't want him to make worry about her. Taehyung asks, it's time for dinner. You must be feeling hungry. Should I cook some food for you? YN again nodded her. As Taehyung get up from bed to walk towards the door for the kitchen to prepare dinner. But in the middle YN kneel down on bed immediately and holds Taehyung hands tightly for stop him. And YN says, take me with you. She doesn't want to show him that she's scared being alone in room but she can't. Help. After what happened today, as Taehyung stopped in his place, the way YN hold his hands tightly, he understands that. She's scared being alone in room. Taehyung doesn't bother her by asking any questions, he just lift her up into his arm, like a small baby. As YN lower, PS resting on Taehyung left arm and YN wrapped her both hands around Taehyung neck for support and rest her head on Taehyung's shoulder for hitting her face. Because YN feels shy, the way Taehyung holding her like a 3-year-old girl. YN mumbled in low voice near the Taehyung ear, I told you to take me with you. But not a like toddler. Taehyung reply, because you are my little Wi-Fi. After that Taehyung take her to the kitchen with him and make her sit on kitchen counter. And Taehyung opens the fridge and takes out a box of strawberries from inside and hands it to YN. And Taehyung says, you eat this strawberries while I prepare dinner, okay? YN nodded her head softly and start eating strawberries because YN had not eaten anything since morning. After dinner, both of them planned to watch a movie because both of them were unable to sleep due to sleeping in the afternoon. Taehyung asked while scrolling the TV channel. Taehyung, what would you like to watch, a movie or a drama? In doesn't reply anything because she had already watched all the movies and dramas. Being alone she always passed her time by watching movies and dramas. YN says, I've watched it all. Taehyung asked in shocked, oh, are you sure, you have watched all? YN nodded her head. Taehyung says, okay, what about horror movie, have you seen all the ghostly movies also? YN replied, no. Taehyung chuckled and says mockingly, you are afraid of watching ghostly movies. YN reply him, no. I am not afraid by ghosts. She says in her mind, I just afraid by people because I thought people will hurt me just like that thief. Taehyung says, okay then let's watch a horror movie. Both YN and Taehyung start watching a movie. And like all movies, in this horror movie too there is a romantic scene where a girl and a boy are $, greater than $, ing each other, as Taehyung glaring at YN face instead of watching movie. Because he wants see her facial expressions that how she react on $, greater than $, ing scenes, and YN also notice his glare on her and understand what he want to see so she decides to show him herself as bold and mature women and looking straight towards the TV. Without any overreacting, Taehyung says, so bold him, he says and looking towards TV. who is enjoying the scene and feels jealous the way he was watching that girl. YN snatched the remote from Taehyung hands and skipped that Emmet, K. Ing increment oop part. Taehyung says, "What the hell is this, why you skip?" YN reply with annoying face and roll her eyes on him, "I don't like so I just." Gaze on her, focusing on movie. Seeing all this, Taehyung stand up in front of YN by sofa and says, "It's too late. Let's go for sleep." YN reply, "I am not sleepy, if you feel sleepy then go to sleep." "I will sleep later." Taehyung says, "You are going to sleep with me, it means you are going." YN reply, "No, I want to watch this movie, I will sleep after watching this movie." YN reply without looking at him as she was busy to watching movie. As he sees her ignorance and go towards the TV and switch off it. YN says almost, shout, "Tae, I want to watch." Taehyung doesn't reply and go towards her. Lifts her on his shoulders. YN shout while struggling on his shoulder, "Tae, what are you doing, put me down." "I want to watch movie," but he doesn't listen and go towards their bedroom. And put her down on bed and says, "Sleep now." YN reply angrily, "You are so bad, Tae." She says and sleep with turning another side of bed while covering her all body. By the day like the angry birds. After half an hour, YN in mind, I thought he would pull me towards him and that hug me and sleep with cuddle with me as he always do, but no he doesn't. He doesn't love me, he just pretend to care of me, how could he sleep peacefully? Without cuddling me. First he makes me habitual of his cuddles and now he is sleeping peacefully. Without cuddling me, how rude he is, I can't sleep without his warm embrace. She get up from bed and go towards him by another side of bed where Taehyung was sleeping. She give him a death glare and sleep next to him quietly without waking him. And put his one hand on her waist and place her head softly close to his chest. Full on his embrace, by her movement Taehyung wake up and looking with his sleepy eyes towards YN's side where she was sleeping but he doesn't find. Then he feel YN heartbeat on his chest and look down and found her sleeping on his embrace as YN immediately close her eyes and pretend to be asleep. He stroke her hair gently and says, "Seems like my little kitten didn't get sleep. Without cuddling me did I spoiling my little kitten?" Accidentally YN nutted her head by his words and totally forget that she was pretending to sleep, but when she realized she again get quite silent for continue. Pretending asleep, Taehyung chuckled by her cuteness and tried to lift her head to see her cute face, but YN fully buried her face into Taehyung's chest and shy and still pretending. statue after listening Taehyung words. Next morning YN wake up late, she sit on bed yawning and watch the time. And found that Taehyung is getting late for office and YN immediately shake Taehyung chest by her both hands for make him wake up and says, wake up Tae. You are getting late for office. As Taehyung open his eyes by her shake and looks at her and give her a sweet morning smile and pulls her close top of him by her waist as YN fell on top on him. YN says while sitting top of him and her both legs sides of his waist and her both hands on his chest. She lower down little and says, Tae what are you doing, wake up, you will get late. Taehyung reply, I'll take a leave for a week. YN look amags by his words and says with joyfully, really she was happy because she wants him to take rest. For heal his injured shoulder soon. Is on top of YN, covering her small body under him and says, this is the first time I have seen a deer happy to have a hungry lion with him. He says teasingly and try to kiss her playfully but YN put her hands on Taehyung's chest. For stop him, she thinks a little and says, Taehyung, if you are not going to office because of me, then you can continue your office. I swear that I will not be afraid of being alone at home. It was just an accident, she thinks you take a leave for her because she's scared after that accident. Taehyung replied, don't think too much, I am just tired by heavy work so I need some rest. She is right but he doesn't want to make her feel like. YN says, would you please get off me, I need a bath. Taehyung normally replied, I also want bath, let's bath together. YN almost shout on him, no way. He always tried to control himself but the way she behaved towards him always make him trigger and aggressive towards her as Taehyung shout back, why? You also bathed me several times then why I can't? YN replied, because you are a pervert. You can't help it. The bathroom door and takes YN inside and throws her in the bathtub. And locks the bathroom door, as he coming towards her while unbuttoning his shirt and throw it on floor and says in deep voice, let me show you today how much pervert husband I am.